Hi, and thanks for joining us. Tom Patrick's my name. I'm Head of Healthcare Property here at Barwon Investment Partners. Today I'm with Joss Engebretsen, who's the Portfolio Manager here in our team for the Barwon Disability Accommodation Fund. We're going to be having a good chat today about the fund and what Joss has been seeing out there in the specialist disability accommodation segment. Joss, thanks for joining us. You and the team behind the Disability Accommodation Fund have been out there working really hard over the last 12 months. The returns have been great. Can you talk us through some of the machinations of that and how those returns have come about, please?
Sure thing, Tom. Yeah, look, as you say, the fund has had terrific returns over the last 12 months, supported by a circa 14% total return and a 5% distribution yield. That has been particularly helped over the last quarter with some valuation uplifts on assets we've recently acquired, showing that we've bought those assets really well. Against the backdrop of higher inflation, we've also seen a more than CPI increase in the rents as a result of the SDA price guide review, which was overall supportive to the portfolio. And so, it's really good to see that the fund is now, in that area that we were looking to target of 5 to 7% distribution yield. And in this last 12 months, we've exceeded the 8 to 10% total return we're looking to achieve for investors.
And you've been building the portfolio out. Obviously, I know you and the team are looking to try and construct a diversified portfolio that will differentiate what we offer here at Barwon in the disability accommodation segment relative to some of the other offerings out there for investors. Can you talk us through how the construction of the portfolio is evolving over time?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, specialist disability accommodation is a very tightly held market for really high quality assets. And so to achieve that, we need to look at a very large amount of opportunities. So over the last circa 12 to 15 months, we've assessed over $1 billion of SDA properties that we could potentially acquire. Now, we've chosen to select a very small portion of that. So when we acquire assets, we want to make sure that we have A-grade SDA properties in our portfolio that are going to remain, that are attractive to participants now, but are going to remain attractive to those participants over the long term as more supply comes on the market. So we make sure we've got our assets really well located with really high quality operators, and most importantly, that we're buying them at a price that is going to deliver returns for our investors over the long term.
That's right. It's important to remember that. We're not only looking to make investments that are going to deliver good returns for clients, but we're also part of the structure, part of the system, which is delivering wonderful new accommodation for people in our community living with disabilities. It's going to be their forever home. So in addition to the great returns you and the team have delivered, Joss, you've also called all of the remaining equity from investors that had come into the fund in the early days. What sort of transactions, if you could, have been acquired with that capital?
Yes, that's right. We were very selective and very patient with selecting the assets that we wanted to acquire for the fund, but it's good to see that now we have called all that capital. And over the last quarter, we settled on over $30 million of SDA properties across Australia. Now, they were located in Dandenong in Victoria and South Bunbury and Geraldton in WA. All of those properties are on fixed rent head leases with high quality counterparts. And so they will deliver durable returns for our investors over the long term. So it's just a testament of the opportunities that we're providing for our investors to get exposure to in the fund.
So great to see the portfolio building out that way with that diversity, exposure to different types of tenants through different types of leases and obviously the different typologies of that. Really looking forward to seeing how that portfolio develops over time and if you could keep delivering those wonderful returns that you have. Thanks for joining us today. As always, if you require further information on the Disability Accommodation Fund, please do feel free to reach out to myself, Joss, or any of the other members of the Barwon Investment Partners team.